Chapter 4. The Reverend's Lie. You can't pray this shit away. Reverend Claude stood in the pulpit with his hand high and his voice louder than God's patience. This ain't no animal, he shouted. This is punishment. This is correction from the Lord. The pews were packed. Not 'cause folks believed him, but because the church was the last place in Bent Horn with light that didn't flicker and walls that ain't bleed. And fear makes people stupid. They packed the aisles, sweating, praying, holding each other like they was trying to squeeze the death out of the air. Rev. Claude wiped his forehead with a gold cloth and leaned in close to the mic like he was telling a secret. This creature, this darkness, this demon, it ain't gonna stop 'cause you got guns. It ain't gonna stop 'cause you out here acting tough. It'll only stop when the sin stops. In the back row, Smoke leaned against the wall with his arms crossed and eyes narrow. K-Doll sat beside Miss Wanda with her Glock in her purse and a smirk on her face. Preaching like a motherfucker ain't been hiding half his life behind that collar, she muttered. Smoke grunted. That man ain't never looked fear in the face. Just sells it to folks on Sundays. After the sermon, folks shuffled out quiet. The Reverend came down the steps shaking hands, sweating more than preaching. Smoke stepped up. You done using the dead to sell hope? Claude flinched. You got something to say. Say it with respect. K-Doll slid in. Then say something real. Boogie, JJ, TT, Pastor Thaddeus, all gone, all gutted. But you talking about sin like it's what pulled their ribs apart. Claude's eyes went cold. Y'all been spreading stories, drawing monsters, stirring fear. That thing feeds on chaos, and you out here feeding it. Smoke stepped closer. Nah, Reverend. That thing been feeding off us long before we gave it a name. You just mad we called it out. Claude's jaw tightened. You think bullets gon' fix this? I think truth might. Truth ain't yours to give. Smoke leaned in close. Then keep lying. Let's see who it visits next. It visited Elder Mavis the next night. One of the oldest, sweetest women in the congregation. Cooked for every funeral. Held prayer circles on Wednesdays. Used to walk Bent Horn with her Bible and a bag of peppermint candy. Now she was folded up in her recliner. Mouth open. Chest split. Bible in one hand, rosary wrapped tight round the other. Intestines gone. Heart untouched. Face still peaceful, like she died believing the lie. Smoke stood in the living room of her shotgun house with his shirt pulled over his nose. The air was heavy with copper and grief. K-Doll knelt by the body, eyes glossed with rage. She never hurt nobody. Smoke stared at the floor. Then he saw it, a trail, thin, black, slimy, almost dry but not enough. He grabbed a pen from the table, touched the edge of it. Shh. The pen tip smoked, melted. K-Doll backed up fast. What the fuck? Smoke dropped the pen. Acid. He stood. That ain't blood. That's chemical. That ain't from here. Later, under Redbone's flashlight, they scraped a sample off the floor and dropped it into a mason jar. Even sealed, it hissed against the glass. Redbone whispered, That shit ain't natural. K-Doll crossed her arms. So now we add acid blood to its resume? Smoke looked at the jar. That ain't just a killer. That's something from outside this place. Maybe outside this fucking planet. K-Doll blinked. You say an alien? Redbone grunted. Meteor storm hit 2 weeks ago. Smoke stared at the jar. Claude was right about one thing, he said. This ain't human. Bent Horn got quiet after Elder Mavis. Not respectful quiet, not funeral quiet, predator quiet. The kind where even the dogs stop barking, where screen doors don't creak no more, where folks sleep with eyes open and lights off 'cause they know light don't save you. Even the meth heads started praying. Redbone ain't slept in 2 days. Kept circling town in his Dodge, shotgun riding passenger, moonshine riding shotgun. K-Doll stayed posted at Smoke's side, helping build traps, watching footage, flipping through every goddamn book on local lore she could find. But Smoke? He was changing. Getting quieter. Less talk. More grit in his walk. Ain't that he was scared? Smoke had seen fear. Slept next to it in the pen. Punched it in the jaw more than once. But this was different. He started dreaming again. Same dream, every night. Waking up with cold sweat and no guts, literally. He'd reach down and feel that hollow in his stomach like he was already opened, already drained. He'd sit up, light a Newport, and watch the trees outside his window, waiting for him to move when they shouldn't. It was watching. And it wasn't just him. Junior disappeared the next night. Gone. No call, no note. Just didn't show for the meeting at the garage. His shack out on Route 17 had the door wide open. His notebook sitting on the front steps, open to a page with 3 words. It talks now. Smoke read it out loud. K-Doll's hand covered her mouth. Redbone stared into the trees. Talks how? She asked. Nobody answered. But Smoke flipped back the notebook pages and found sketches. Teeth, organs, a mouth that split from chin to chest, and a new one, a figure wearing someone else's face. It was labeled, It Learned. The Reverend called a town meeting, said the evil had spread, that Bent Horn was under a curse, and the only salvation was through repentance and cleansing. Smoke didn't like the way he said it. K-Doll hated the way he said it. We ain't got demons, we got a monster, she hissed. He trying to spiritualize a fucking bloodbath. Smoke lit his cigarette slow. Or he trying to survive it. Redbone was waiting by the door when Claude finished talking, hand on his hunting knife, just in case. Anybody cleansing this town, he muttered, better be ready to get dirty first. That night, the church stayed open. Sanctuary, Reverend Claude said. Safe haven. He lit candles. Had Sister Luann play hymns on the dusty piano. Let the townsfolk sleep in the pews. Smoke and K-Doll stayed outside in the Monte Carlo, waiting. K-Doll tapped her nail on the dash. Something don't sit right. Smoke nodded. It knows we're watching. So now it's watching back. The candles flickered inside, one by one. Then all at once. Screams. Not from the front, from beneath. The basement. Smoke kicked the side door open and barreled inside. Sister Luann stood frozen at the piano, blood splashing the keys. K-Doll slipped in behind Smoke, gun raised, breath tight. From the basement, a voice, Junior's voice, soft. Y'all late. Smoke descended first, every step creaking. Basement smelled like wet mold and bile. Candles on the steps burned low. And then the whisper came again. This time, his own voice. I saved a spot for you. K-Doll grabbed his arm. Smoke. He pushed on. At the bottom, red glow from a busted exit sign barely lit the room. There, hanging from the ceiling like slabs of meat, were the bodies of 3 townsfolk, face peeled, guts gone, and standing behind them, a shape, shadow with legs, chest open, teeth inside where a heart should be, split jaw flexing like a smile, and in his voice it whispered, Next. Smoke froze. That thing, it didn't move like an animal, didn't stand like no man. It posed, like it wanted him to see the mess it made. Bodies strung up like trophies. Skin peeled but clean. Guts absent, but no blood pooled on the floor. Just steam. Heat still rising from the corpses. The feed stood behind them, all slick muscle and twitching membrane. Skin like gray rubber stretched too tight over bones that didn't match any earthborn creature. Its mouth wasn't even on its face. It opened from the chest. A split that ran from collarbone to stomach, folding wide like the pages of a bloody Bible. And it smiled. Not with lips, with muscle, with intention. K-Doll whispered behind him, Smoke, don't you fucking blink. Smoke blinked. It was gone. And the bodies hit the ground like wet garbage bags. They ran. Up the steps, through the sanctuary. Redbone kicked open the front door from outside, shotgun already up, eyes wild. What happened? Smoke didn't say shit. He just pointed to the basement, chest heaving. K-Doll pulled her gun and checked the hall behind them, but nothing moved. No whispers, no wind, just the sound of blood dripping onto church tile. Reverend Claude was nowhere in sight. They searched for him all night, but he was gone, vanished like Junior. Only thing left was his Bible. On the altar. Open to Revelation 6:8. And I looked, and behold a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. In thick red ink, maybe blood, maybe not, was scrawled across the page. I thought faith would save me. They burned the church the next night. Redbone doused the basement stairs first. K-Doll lit the fuse with a Marlboro and no tears. Smoke watched it catch fire slow. Didn't say a word. Didn't blink. Let it burn. 'Cause whatever that thing was, it had worn their skin, their voices, their fears. And now it was learning places. Safe spaces. Church was just a rehearsal. Bent Horn was next. Later that night, back at the garage, K-Doll stitched up Smoke's forearm. He'd caught it on broken pew wood on the way out. You feel it back there? She asked. Feel what? She paused, looked him dead in the eyes. Like it wanted you to live. Smoke didn't answer right away. Then he looked down at his bandage and whispered, That's what scares me. Upstairs in the office, JJ's sketchbook lay open. Drawings updated, but nobody had touched it. A new page. Rough lines. Jagged strokes. Blood mixed with ink. The feed standing over the burning church, bodies in the windows, teeth in the sky, and written underneath? No prayers, no gods, just guts.